Well guys, another month has passed us by and it's now time for us to show you what's been happening on the server in November. I can't believe the year is nearly out, but still, let's jump on and see all the amazing builds that we've added over the last month. Well guys, you're about to see it. The massive project we've been putting off showing you for the last 5 months or so. There behind me is HMS Victory. You saw that a few weeks back and everyone tried to guess where the location was it was actually sitting in. Welcome to the Royal Naval College of Greenwich, but on our server it's not known as that. On our server this is the Parliament of Whiteburg, the Palace of Hampwick. Each of these buildings features an arm of government. This is the Home Office, over this side is the Foreign and Empire Office, and these two here are the House of Lords and the House of Commons. Now we'll have a look around inside those in a second, but you're probably wondering, what's that building at the back there? If you're at all familiar with how Greenwich is set up in the real world, the building at the back here is actually the Queen's house, and it does not look anything like that. No, I love these buildings. We'll have a proper look around in a second. Now, this building here is a Frankenstein's creation, a mismatch of so many different parts of Baroque architecture, and it's all mine. I designed this building. Well, the middle section may or may not be based on a sketch by a guy called Nicholas Hawksmoor, i.e. he worked with Sir Christopher Wren, the famed Baroque architecture man. Now, I took that sketch and I developed a building that stretches far and wide and all behind here as well. Now, if you're following at all my What's Happening in Whiteburg City series, you'll realise that the construction, or should I say the reconstruction of Greenwich here, is in process, and what you can see so far is the majority of it done. Now, the only section left of actual proper rebuilding is this section in front of me here. So once this is done, the rest of the stuff gets pasted in and it's hey presto, we can finally show off this place properly. But there's a few little things I want to show you now just while we're here. So this is the Mall, and it stretches from all the way down there next to some townhouses towards what will become the old part of town and the docks, and from down here it carries on all the way up this way and stretches all the way down there to another location, the Royal Palace. Now the Royal Palace we'll get to later on in the year. What am I saying? It's November. We'll get onto it next year, of course. But the main feature piece here are these two buildings. So this one over here is the House of Lords. Let me show you inside for a second. So we wander on up here into where the Lords, the peers, sit and cast their votes and do what they need to do. And they sit amongst what would have been the painted library or the painted room, I think, in the real life Greenwich. Correct me if I'm wrong, it might be the one behind me. But in here it has such a nice heavy Victorian decor. I love it. The walls are amazing. That's brown concrete powder if anyone's wondering. And down here we actually have the throne of Whiteburg. So this is where the king sits and he opens Parliament. So currently the king is King George VI. Not me. I'm the Prime Minister, so we'll go find my place in a second. And let's wander on back out now to actually go see the House of the Commons. But you can see it's pure opulence in here. This is where government happens. Right, let's wander over to the House of Commons. Right, hopefully no one's going to notice me just jumping the fence. Right, here we go, in we go. So this is where I conduct my work from, if we're going to do a bit of RP, a bit of role-playing there. And what I love about this place is just the motifs up there. Look, there's a lovely shield of Whiteburg up on the ceiling. And we've got this nice light, not really fancy one, and that's what you'll find about the House of Commons. It hasn't got the fancy grandeur of the House of Lords, but when you walk in here, it still has such a feeling about it. As we pass through these doors into the main chamber. Now, you'll notice it's got a very striking similarity to the one in Westminster, apart from the fact the hard wood decor does not extend up either side. But no, when Wob was building this, we kind of decided that keeping those white walls there help give it this nice classical feel along with the Victorian heavy feel of it. Now we're going to wander on down here to the Speaker's chair and come stand under the crest of Whiteburg, complete with lion. Take note on that, guys. I love that. Yeah, let's go stand down here at the dispatch box and I can now start shouting at the leader of the opposition. As you can tell, it's a Sunday, we're not open. But yeah, so these are the two chambers of legislation here in Whiteburg. This is where everything gets done from, where everything happens. But yeah, in total, guys, there is so much more to show you in Greenwich, but I don't think we can do it justice here in this one tour. I just wanted to show off those little bits and bobs of the main functions of each of these buildings before we actually have a proper, I'm guessing, going to be an hour-long tour. Can you guys cope with that? You probably can cope with that. And there may even be a 2-hour-long showcase live stream at some point. Oh god, I don't know if I can do that. We'll see about that. So anyway, guys, I think it's time to leave Greenwich and go off to our next location. So before I even got a chance to leave, I just bumped into these guys here sitting on this bench, enjoying the views. And why wouldn't they? Just look at that view. Look at that view. As you can probably tell as well, I haven't actually slept for many, many days now. So guys, please, send me coffee. Anyway, let's go find our next location. Okay then guys, so our next location's a little bit more unorthodox. We haven't really done anything like this on the server before, but Goblin's been dying for me to show all of these builds off, and also I've been dying to check them out. So welcome to the Ren Collection. There are 13 churches along this stretch of road here, and I'm going to show you all of them in a sort of fleeting glance so you can get an impression of what the Lord of Churches really does. So there's a bit of info about the collection here. We have all of these churches here, so I believe Goblin is building 50 of them, and these are the churches that Sir Christopher Wren designed after the Great Fire of London ripped through the city. Sorry, 51 churches, and a lot of them are kind of no more. They got demolished or got bombed out in the war, and also just got removed or anything else. But there are a few that are still existing in the world. And Goblin aims to bring all 51 back to life. So first of all, we are greeted here by the Great Model. Now you probably recognise this building. Yes, it's the one we just seen in Greenwich. No, it's not. This is St Paul's Cathedral as it could have been. The original design was a bit more like St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. It was going to be on a sort of curly cross, I like to call them. I can't remember the exact name. And this could have been the design that they went for, but unfortunately they did not. Now, the actual model of this still exists. I believe it's made out of mahogany. And we have been discussing recently about a similar model that Sir Christopher Wren did for Westminster Cathedral, which we may actually build on the server. Well, stalling has been done. Let's take a look at this. And as you can see, planning's still up in the air. I've been waiting to say that. Anyway, these churches are absolutely incredible. I think each one is actually named down here. So let's see what we got first. That's St. Paul's the Great Model. This one here is St. Stephen's of Walbrook, and this one actually currently still survives. Really interesting church, lots of different materials going on there. I like the copper dome at the back. You know we love our domes, Goblin. So what's this one over here then? If you want to go check out Goblin's channel, please do. This is St. Bride's. He is going to be posting videos on building each one of these over the coming years. As you all know, building stuff is never the easiest thing to do, especially when you try and make a video out of it as well. Oh, this one's... I love the spire on this one, the way it actually bends up like a conical shape. Now obviously a lot of debugging work has gone on in here, so take note on all of those walls that have been attacked with the debug as we go on up through here to the spire's top. Now you notice a lot of these churches are made out of brick at the back, a fair few of them, and that's just because materials were a bit cheaper to build out of brick back then rather than the nice stone dressings out the front. So let's move on down the collection so you guys get a full impression without me really glazing. Well, I'm going to have to glaze over them just because there's so many to see. I like this one here with the spires, and what's interesting is each one's different. Like, as an architect, I'm sure that's kind of what you want to go for because you don't really want to have the same designs each time. Like, look at this. I love these sort of scroll ends he's got on either side here. And the big old tablet in the front. Incredible work. The detailing is perfect. And the texturing really does work well. That one's got a nice little blue clock up there. But yeah, guys, please go follow Goblin over on his Instagram as well, Lord Goblin Esquire, as he posts about all his churches on there. That's a really interesting one. Tiny little thing. Which one's this? This is St. Mildred Bread Street. Ooh, okay. And it's got a strange little chimney up the side there. Goblin, excellent stuff indeed. So guys, when you're wondering what Goblin's been doing lately, he's been building a lot of churches and also helping me build a lot of domes. Well, anyway, guys, let's move on from this to another location. Well, guys, I know Halloween is over and we've already done most of our spooky season stuff, but Lamwan has an offering for us today. This is Chiltern Marsh along with Chiltern House. Now, this is all based off of the stuff out of The Woman in Black. And if you haven't already seen his video on that, please go do check that out. I'm just going to stick a little thing up in the corner there, you know what to click, and you can see his time-lapse construction of this place. So, as with me and Rodney, Lanwan went through and actually designed a whole landscape for this. He built a lovely marsh in a swamp up here, decorated it around with some trees, and gave life to the place. Now, I'm obviously looking at it here in daylight, but I think if we go to nighttime, you can really start to get the spookiness of it. All of the windows are lit up, but there's just nothing here. Let's wander on down to the spit, I think, in this time of day. I like this a lot. So if we wander on down here, you can really get the barren openness of it. You've got the car that's kind of stopped on halfway down. I'm going to fall into the water here with the headlights on. Now these headlights have been made using light blocks, and if I grab one out of here, you can see they actually are sitting in front of it, but you can't see them without one of these. I'm sure you can find a tutorial online how to explain those, because I have completely gone blank in my mind for the second time on trying to explain those, so sorry guys. Anyway, if we wander on down here even further, we're going to get a glimpse of the house. Look at it glowing up there on the hill. If we look around here as well, we may see, oh there it is, the cross of someone that died out there. Now I think that's in the first film. I've only seen the second one recently. The first one I watched probably the best part of 10 years ago. But yeah, let's go on down to the house. Right, so I'm arriving down here. We've just gone around a bend, a couple of little bits of the track there. But let's stand down here at the base of this hill and gaze up at this lovely Elizabethan even house. So Lanwan, I think this is a great addition to the server. It's just a nice little Easter egg. I remember you and Goblin did Camelot as well recently, well, this year at some point, and I thought that worked really well as a nice one-off build. Now let's have a look at this place in the daylight. So you can see it still keeps its charm about it, and the building is well textured and well delivered. The chimneys really are perfect for the Elizabethan period, with those individual clay pipes sticking up through with a nice heavy ornamentation around it. The roof you've done well using the brand new Grim Slate. I don't think it's even called Grim Slate anymore, and it's not brand new. But in 1.17, obviously, as we only updated the server to it, I think last month? Who knows anymore. Still, it makes roofs so much nicer now. Coming around the back here, we've got some interesting landscape going on. Nice big cliff here, nice big hill. This is the first time I've actually seen it in person, Lanwan, so I'm really impressed with what you've done. There's that big old window there. As you can see, there's nothing inside but a lot of light and just ghosts. Well guys, that has been Chiltern Marsh. I hope you like that one. I think it's time now to move on to something else. Okay then guys, I'm about to show you what is probably one of the largest towns on the server. Welcome to Yarmouth, MS Build's latest addition to the server. Now this is a beautiful Georgian and Victorian seaside town based on that of Great Yarmouth in Suffolk, along with some stuff from Lowestoft, I believe. Now what we've got going on here is a complete collection of townhouses, shops, hotels, and all sorts of amenities, such as the tennis courts down here. You've been incredibly busy yet again, MS Builds, and you have captured the Edwardian feel about this place. Guys, just look at these tennis courts. This is all built, using normal blocks. Nothing about these is anything secret. The moss blocks mixed in with the grass blocks, it gives such a different texture, such a different feel to the place. We got a lovely tram over here on this beautiful tramway going through the whole town. Now the buildings, there is just so much to show you. So I think there's a few larger structures down this end of town, but what we're going to do as we wander on down is just take a look and breathe in the sight. We've got this huge terrace here. Now this is what I love about these seaside towns. They don't have to have, like the most ornate, detailed buildings along it. Slap a terrace down and you've got a really nice sea view. You can see down there actually we've got a large building and we've also got a pier. But no cycling allowed here on the parade. Oh mate, you've been working so hard. Right, let's go take a look at this pier over here. So we've got the Britannia Pier. So this is based on one that I believe used to exist in Great Yarmouth. It may still exist. I'm gonna jump the fence here. Actually, I can't be bothered to pay for it. So we're gonna wander on down this beautiful Edwardian ornament. This is what the Edwardians and the Victorians loved doing. They loved coming to the seaside, going up on the pier, wandering down to the end, and just sort of seeing what attractions and what amenities are down here. This building is incredibly detailed and the copper roof really does work very well. Do you know what it's missing? just a few statues along here of me. If you haven't checked out our new Instagram already, go check out Statues of Whiteburg, which just posts statues of me. Yes, I am the person running the site, please don't at me. But yeah, this is a beautiful pier, and it sticks all the way out here into the sea. I'm gobsmacked, like, I don't even know what to say, MS Builds. Under here, you've even gone and put in every single post. Like, if I was building this, I would probably just put a few in around the edges and go, yeah, that's fine. We'll leave that. You have put in the detail and the time, and I also see you've gone for the light blocks in here as well, which is just excellent. Now guys, we've got another building to go look at, which is this one over here. So guys, this is the aquarium, and it's just one of those really lovely buildings to sit here on the seafront. You can see there's some guys following us around in here. Now I don't think he's done anything on the interior of this one, but it'd be great if we actually ended up with a working sea life centre at some point. Now, interesting note is these fence details here. So this is using either the debug stick or World Edit to apply a button to the top of things, and that adds an extra level of detail to a nice fence, giving it a sort of brass texture on the top. So there's a few more streets, I mean there's hundreds of streets, but I don't think we've got the time today to go look around everything. So guys, if you want a full tour on Yarmouth at some point, please let me know in the comments below. But still, right, it's now time to head on over to United Lowlands and see what's been happening over there. Well guys, welcome to Matty's first town on the server. Actually, that's a lie. Welcome to Matty's second town on the server. This is the town of Chimney, and it is a Wallonian village in the Ardennes in the sort of Belgium region of Europe. Now I'm just going to let the main tour group go ahead of me here, but I'm going to wander on down and have a look at this place. Now, this is the first time I've been here. I wanted to keep this secret for the tour. I believe he actually only finished up some sections of it yesterday, but this place is already looking fabulous from down here. Like the texture, the details in the trees, the paths, just walking on up to it really gives me a nice bit of splendour about the place. So we've got some narrow little streets around here. We've got this beautiful big church up here as well. The use of these colours really help the place, and I like the white trapdoors always work as well as finishing little touches, but they really help offset that jungle colour around here. Now Matty is probably one of our newest builders, and I think we showed off his town of Hatch or H last time. But yeah, let's have a little wander around here. Oh wow, this place is really nice. I like the little small European feel about it. We've got a lovely square in here, big old church, like I said, and a nice bandstand. And then, of course, the Belgian flag flying high there. This is great stuff, Matty. Are you going to be expanding this town more? I'm not entirely sure what your plans are for it, but it'd be great to see this place get bigger and bigger if there's any more notable buildings. Now, I did see a large building down here. I believe this is probably the castle or the main sort of house. So apparently this place was designed on top of the ruins of an old medieval castle, and this is a brand new, well, a newish chateau. You have done an incredible job here with the roof. I like the way this comes up to a big old bell sprout up the top. I call them bell sprouts because that's the first word that pops into my head whenever I see these types of roofs. There is obviously a technical term for them, but you guys are probably going to start calling them bell sprout roofs as well now. Still, the views are great. I can just see, do you know what, it reminds me of like a map from Battlefield 1, that's for sure. I'm getting those vibes about the place. And we've got some little fields as it carries on back down away from the town. Well, Matty, great stuff indeed. I really enjoyed walking around here. Right, it's time to go off to our next location. So we are back in Aussie's new town of Rickenwald, the White Town, apparently. Now, he's called it that because all the buildings around here are just whitewashed, and I feel that's fine. It's a good look to the place. Obviously, it's not Whiteburg. It's not associated with Whiteburg, but still. So we got this beautiful church we saw last month when we were here, and Aussie has constructed something that I'm not allowed to look at. Now, he wants to do another one of these afternoon with the builders, so I'll be touring the forest with him. Now, I don't actually know where the forest is. Oh, there's the forest. So we're going to have to stay clear about that, guys, today. But to now, what we can see is just the rest of the town. So we're going to wander in from this way, and we've got a really nice big open market square, which gives you that nice European feel about the place. Now, if you remember Aussie's other town of Holmesbridge, it had a similar fashion going on there. Yes, we aren't going to call it Raxo's town anymore. There's lots of little buildings lying around the place. I believe one of these is a pub. And we'll be back here later on next month for something special. Do you guys like pubs? I hope you do. We're about to embark on something that's going to be make it or break it for pubs in Minecraft. You'll see come December the 1st. I believe that's the building there, so we won't look too much further into that one. But I think if we just wander around these streets a bit more, we can breathe in the small European town, the small Flemish style of architecture. I like this building. This roof is really cool. I like the shingle effect you've gone for here. The way it goes up from a wider base to the actual narrower section, and you've used walls, obviously debugged in the way you do, in order to create that fashion. Really nice. And that kind of brings us to the edge of town and the edge of the forest. Do you know what? I really want to walk down it. Should we go do it? No, we won't disrespect Aussie there. But yeah, so guys, that has been Rickenveld. It's really growing up again. Aussie, you do build pretty quickly, as you would, you kind of do with MS Build's style of stuff. But yeah, so guys, it's time then to move on to our next location. So guys, you'll find me back here in Breslau. Now, we've not been here for a very long time, have we? And Swedish has been back on, building away in the background again. So we've got a brand new bridge that we're standing on here. And I think we've got a few little statues along it. Oh no, this is, yes it is, it's the same bridge that we've seen before with the statues on Saints Bridge, but this is a brand new version of it, that's correct, and it's just looking great already. I like the new use of the 1.17 blocks through here. It's a nice cobbled street, and the colours and textures inside the bridge are incredible. Now the little gatehouses at the end are cool. This is really nice, good use of like details on there for that nice European Baroque style. And these strange heads on there from the head blocks kind of looks like just like big old eyes gazing out at you. So you've been working on something else in town as well, the Breslau Zinger, which I think is got its own warp apparently. So I'm just going to warp on over to that. So when I warp on over to this, it brings me to a work in progress build that Swedish actually want me to show off just quickly. This place is huge. Now, it's going to be even bigger, and this is like one of the main royal palaces of the Swedish Empire here. As we can see, there are some statues here. Oh. There's me lying, saying those are the only heads we have for it. Okay. I may have to come over here at some point and secretly do a night raid and put my heads on all of these statues and then take pictures of it for my Instagram account. What is my life becoming? Still, this is incredible, and this is going to look great. I do love this style of architecture. It's almost Baroque at this point, and we've got another one of these Bellsprout towers. They're called onion domes, you know that. But yeah, so I can see that planning is up in the air. I am obviously going to say that. You guys saw I resisted it earlier on. But this town is starting to come together. We haven't been here for months, but it's nice to see progress has begun again. So guys, it's time to move on to our final location of this server tour. So Duncan was telling us earlier this year about a tradition that happens in the Netherlands during Christmas time. Well, I believe in November. A guy called Santa Claus comes in on a boat. He is the good bishop, apparently, and he gives everyone presents throughout November. I'm probably butchering the entire tradition here, but this is the boat that Duncan has constructed that brings in this gift-giving guy. I think this is him down the front here. It would make sense to be, yeah, it looks just like him. So I believe what Duncan was saying is this is the inspiration for Santa Claus, but it's not the same one obviously we use in the real world. I love how the length and the detail you've gone to already just to bring this in. Now Duncan, obviously being the master of debugging, has come up with some fence designs here which are really cool and give you that sort of nice temporary fence effect. We've even got a red carpet going on, but yeah, the heads really help with those presents being put around, and the ship is cool. I haven't seen like a little ship like this yet, and you're making use of Hoogedam. How did the boat get in here? Is that bridge big enough? I don't know. But yeah, so apparently he goes in and... Is that a hot air balloon over there? Apparently he comes over here and he stays in the royal palace. So Duncan has set something up over in the Castle de Her. Let's head on over there once we go see what that balloon is. Well, apparently there's nothing inside the balloon, apart from me now, but it gives you absolutely incredible views of the city from up here. And while up here, I did actually notice something else going on down there. I think that's the main event with Santa Claus being out and about. So let's quickly just jump down and fly on over. You were expecting me to have an elytra on then, weren't you? Because I was. That didn't really work. Hey, this is the first time I've seen these trams. A 2-wide tram. Very interesting. I like that design. I wonder who built these. It must be maybe Tim or Duncan. I'll have to ask them in the chat. I wasn't aware of them, but that makes a really nice little bit of impression on there. And you got these winding tram tracks as they go round. Cool. Anyway, what is this over here then? Ah, yes. It is, of course, the main guy himself giving out the presents. He's got his good and bad list here, and he's going to stand out here and start giving out all the gifts. Oh, this is cool. I'm guessing that's the flag for it. I should have looked up a bit more history into this before I came over here, but please, any Dutch people, flame me in the comments for not knowing about your traditions. Is that a hand glider up there? What is going on in the sky? No, it just seems to be a parachute. Now, I don't know if I'm meant to be showing this off, but Tima has been working very hard on the rail yard. This is just a quick little snapshot of what's happening over here in this part of Hoogedam, and the answer is a lot. We're not going to show off too much more than that because I think it is very much work in progress. But let's go on over to the Castle du Har and see what's happening over there. So apparently in this castle there is some Christmas stuff. I will have a quick look around and see what's happening. I think that's the flag of St. Nick over there, maybe? Right, let me have a quick look around. Well, having looked high and low, it turns out the Christmas stuff isn't all just here yet, but we haven't actually seen round most of this castle for a long time. Duncan, I think, has been quite busy adding in the rest of the trees around here. I remember seeing this before, actually, and being awestruck, but now it's in place properly. With all of the water, the reflecting pools, the little gardens over here, and the trees around the edges. It really is a lovely place to end our tour for this month. Well guys, that has been November's edition of the server update tour. A little chop and change, we've got a lot to see, and it was really nice to go look around the server again. So anyway, I will see you again in December with whatever we have left over to show you before the new year kicks in. I do hope to have Greenwich finished by then. I really want to have Greenwich finished by then. But until then guys, remember, get inspired, get building, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.